You're listening to At the Mic with Keith, an independent podcast production.
And welcome to this edition of At the Mic. I'm your host, Keith Malinak. One of the talented behind-the-scenes individuals here at The Blaze is our own Mark Tait. Mark is primarily a part of the Chad Prather show and holds the distinction as the most laid-back person I know. I have something to learn from him for sure. And if you check out this podcast on a regular basis, you'll want to be listening toward the end as a very fun fact about Mark is revealed that is connected to a previous episode. Without further delay, let's get things started with Mark Tait, this week's guest on At the Mic. What is your title here, man?
I think it's technically on the offer letter I had television director for podcast programming, but it's basically just director of random things.
Is there an abbreviation we can come up with? Because that sounds...
I think...
it's a mouthful.
I think you can just say director. I think that works. Yeah.
All right, we'll go director.
Yeah.
I want to also go with the title, most laid-back guy I know. How is a human being so relaxed? I've got a lot to learn from you because I am the polar opposite. I am the most high-strung guy I know. Yet you never seem to be stressed out. How do you pull that off, man? It's drugs, right?
Yeah, I take some daily doses. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
that's a compliment. It's not a dig.
Yeah.
I mean, just genuinely, you're always smiling. You always seem to be in a good mood. If it's an act, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
But no, you're just you're always in a good mood, and I really appreciate that about you.
No, I think it's like it's a weird thing. I feel like I'm just kind of naturally calm, if that makes sense. I don't think it's anything in particular. Sometimes too, I feel like I don't feel as calm as sometimes people think I am, if that makes any sense.
Okay, but congratulations on pulling it off though, because you work in a high stress industry. Your job, you push the buttons for Chad Prather's TV show here on The Blaze. So you're constantly having to change cameras and take camera one, take camera two, all that stuff. Plus you do stuff over here on The Blaze with other shows that I guess are moving faster, like you fill in for Rob on Pat's show.
Right.
Pushing all the buttons and changing all the cameras and stuff. Like, I remember specifically in college when I had to take TV broadcasting. I had to sit in the director's chair for a semester. Man, the palms of my hands never stopped sweating. I was so nervous all the time. That technical stuff, it's a challenge in of itself. But to remain calm under pressure, you are able to pull that off. So congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, I think it's with directing, I feel like it's a reps thing. I remember the first time I ever TD'd, that's what they call it when you push the buttons to basically switch all the cameras.
Technical director?
Yeah, I was an intern here in 2014. Travis Bransel, he used to be a director. He was like, hey, hop in here, buddy.
Oh, no!
So it was like one of those, I think it was a pre-show back then. They had the pre-show before they come to Glenn on radio.
Uh-huh.
And I remember my hands were literally shaking when I was trying to push the buttons. He's like, oh, you're good. But it's one of those things you keep doing it and doing it and doing it. Wow. And then you get used to it. Kind of like an instrument, I feel like. You know, if you're sit down and have to play a guitar live all of a sudden, it's nerve-wracking. But if you keep doing it and doing it, then it just becomes something you don't think about too much. So
okay.
Anyway, yeah.
You're not from Texas or the Dallas area originally. You were born in Orlando?
That's right.
And then raised in Winter Garden, Florida? How close is that to Orlando?
It's basically a suburb of Orlando. Metro? Okay. It's like 30 minutes from Orlando.
And you spent your entire childhood there?
I did. Yeah, actually, my parents they bought a house when they got married.
Uh-oh. Hang on a second.
Oh, boy.
That's my fault. Turn your phone off, Keith. My goodness. Okay. Go ahead, pick it up. Sorry.
You're good. My parents, they bought a house when they got married, lived in the same house until I graduated from high school.
Oh, wow.
So it was,
So are they still there now, the same place?
They're actually in Virginia now.
Oh, wow.
So they moved up there when I was in college. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So where did you go to college?
I went to Liberty in Virginia.
Up in Virginia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that place, I bet, has changed a lot since you, like, how long ago were you there, graduating?
I graduated, I just say 2015, technically, like, winter of 14.
Man, I forget how young you are. Yeah. Okay, very good.
But yeah, it hasn't changed a lot even since then. So it's just been
that
growing and growing and growing.
Right, especially with the sports programs and becoming
That's right. They're a FBS school now. So moving on up.
Right, that's right. You have a sister and a brother. Where do you fall on that spectrum? You oldest, youngest? Where are you?
I am a twin, actually. So I have a twin sister. So she's technically 4 minutes younger than me. So I guess you could say I'm the middle child.
I bet. Every twin always holds that over.
Yeah,
the
I always
one
give her a hard time. I always say you got to respect your elders.
Respect your elders. That
So,
is awesome.
I have a little bit more life experience, but we're pretty close together. So.
A little bit more. Yeah, I got you beat by 4 minutes. I have seen things in this world in those 4 extra
In
minutes.
those 4 minutes,
Yeah.
you wouldn't even know.
So how is that growing up, celebrating birthdays and stuff with someone who shares the exact same birthday as you?
Yeah.
Is every celebration together? Do your parents, do they spread them out? How'd that work?
My parents were pretty good about it. We would have joint birthday parties sometimes, but they were very strict about, each person got their separate cake and their separate meal.
That's cool.
And usually we'd have like our birthday dinners. Normally my mom cooked it. We didn't really go out for that. And we'd each have like a separate meal. So we had some weird combos over the years. We had like hot dogs and spaghetti one time because we wanted different things. So
Yeah, because in my house, when it's your birthday, you basically are the king or queen for the day. We watch whatever show you want to watch.
Right,
We do
right.
whatever you want to do, whatever. I can't imagine trying to share that special day with a sibling, but
Right.
I'm an only child, man. I'm not
okay.
used to.
So that's very different.
That's very different,
That's the
yeah.
opposite end of the spectrum.
Right,
so.
right.
Yeah.
But it sounds like your parents are cool and they handled it.
Yeah, they handled it well. And it's funny, people always ask me, what was it like? But for me, I never knew anything different. So, I was always cool with it. It was fun.
So when you were growing up, what kind of job did you envision yourself doing when you were an adult?
I feel like I had a lot of random ones. I think I wanted to be a doctor at one point.
Oh, wow. How long did that dream last?
Not too long. Not too long. I learned the reality of that one. I feel like I just had a lot of different ones. I think I wanted to be a scientist, just like those random ones you get as a kid where you want to do random things.
Uh-huh.
The broadcasting side of things didn't really come into my head until high school. And I think like my main driving force is I was like, it would be fun to do something really cool. Because I feel like broadcasting is just very different from sitting behind a desk all day, and I want to do something different. So I think that's kind of what drove me there.
How did you end up? So you're from Florida. You
Right.
went to school in Virginia. How
Right.
did you end up in Dallas?
At Liberty, I was shooting sports. I would shoot games. I think I started my sophomore year shooting games, and it was the kind of thing where we'd set up all the cameras for soccer or football or whatever, and we do a live stream of it. At that time, the guy directing it was this guy named Dan Crutchfield. He had gone to Liberty too, but he actually ended up getting a job out here. I think he was previously an intern for the Blaze, but he got a job as an editor at the Blaze. So it's kind of a crazy story, actually. I had an internship in D.C. I got that internship locked up, basically, and then kind of started seeing some red flags and some things just kind of fell through, if that makes sense. At that time, I was like, I think it's really in my best interest to not accept this anymore, to back out of it. Which was something kind of weird for me because it's something I don't like to do. But at that time, seemed like the right thing to do.
Okay.
So anyway, at that time, I didn't know what I was going to do. I had this great internship in D.C. and it was gone. So I remember I was sitting there in the library. I was like, oh, Dan's over at Blaze now in Dallas. I wonder if they have anything going on over there. So I Googled on my computer, Blaze internship program.
Oh.
It was the day of the deadline to apply for the Blaze internship program. So I hurried up. I had everything. My resume and stuff was pretty good to go. So I kind of tweaked everything, sent it in. And I remember I sent Dan a Facebook message and I said, hey, I applied for this. Is there anything going on over there? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think I had an interview within a day or two with Sarah Carlson, who was at that time the VP of studio operations here.
Okay.
And that's what led me to Dallas. I came down here and interned in 2014. And,
not knowing anyone, really.
Yeah, not knowing anyone.
Dan, I guess.
Except for Dan. And Dan was great.
And this was an unpaid internship, right?
Actually, they paid
did they?
$10 an hour.
Okay.
Which, I mean, for production is pretty crazy.
So did you find a place to stay down here and say, man, I hope this works out? Or
crazy story.
Oh, no. There was this bridge. And boy, I tell you, it really kept the rain off of it.
Yeah. No, one of the other editors, Matt Castellano, who also went to Liberty with Dan, had an empty spot at his apartment. So he offered me to stay with him for the summer. So I stayed with him, and it was completely free.
Very cool.
Worked out really well.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
Okay, now before you walk through the doors of the Blaze, I could totally see this. I mean, you are Chick-fil-A. I can see you. My pleasure, being all happy and chipper. So was that like during high school or college?
Yeah, that was my senior year of high school. I always say I have the most conservative resume ever. because of Chick-fil-A, Liberty University, and the Blaze. But yeah, senior year of high school, I worked there.
So while at Liberty, you were a student blogger and like a newspaper editor?
Yeah, I did. The blogger was the first thing I got. So that was something out of their marketing department.
Blogging about what?
It was basically about student life. So it was It wasn't a bad gig.
There's not like controversial articles out there. Mark Tait has authored.
Nothing like that.
Should we kill all the birds? Because, we've recently learned on Pat Gray's show
that
birds aren't real.
They aren't real. Yeah.
Candace Ortiz has brought us that news.
No.
And so we discussed that on the show.
Earth-shattering.
Yeah.
Earth-shattering.
I mean, it'll shake your world to its foundation.
Oh, absolutely.
But when you were a newspaper editor, I feel like being a newspaper editor these days is a lost art that it's kind of like this sentence structure right now.
Right.
Like the way I'm delivering this point is kind of the way news articles are written these days.
Right.
Okay. Whether it's in a newspaper or on a website, there are so many grammatical errors and punctuation issues. Tell me, when you were an editor at the student paper, that stuff didn't get through, did it?
It was very strict.
Good. Somebody needs to be.
I was technically assistant news editor. So basically me and another girl, we would come up with the stories, assign them to reporters, and then we would basically go into InDesign, which is like a sort of a Photoshop-ish software for people that don't know what it is, and put the paper together. But we had copy editors, and our copy editors they didn't mess around. So any tiny error.
Glad to hear there's some sort of
any AP style issue, everything got changed. So
grammar's important to you, yes?
I
can't see it being so important that it draws him to anger, because again, we're dealing with the most laid-back man in America.
See, I guess I would say it's important to me when I'm writing. I don't care as much other than that, besides that, if that makes sense. And I think that...
But you wouldn't let that stuff slip through at the newspaper, would you?
No, not at the newspaper. Yeah. Not if it was under my
Okay, but if somebody sends you a text, right?
Right.
And they use the word irregardless, which I guess is now technically a word, but no, it's not.
Right.
Would you correct them, or I guess it depends on how well you know the person? Say, hey, that's really not a thing, right?
See, I don't think I would bother. I don't think I would bother correcting them.
This guy right here. He's the easiest guy in the world to get along with.
It's a text message. It's not a published
Okay, so if we're having a conversation the whole way, right? You and me. Right now, not doing this interview. We're standing out in the hall, and I just say, irregardless of what you say, I'm going to get you in that studio to record a podcast with me. Would you go, that's actually not a word? You'd let it go, wouldn't you?
I would probably think that in my head, but I would let it go.
For me, of course, everything gets under my skin. So thank you for being you, Mark. Okay, so
You're welcome.
Before this global pandemic happened, you loved going to Dallas Stars hockey games,
That's right.
music, concerts, stuff like that. But there's kind of been a seismic shift, I guess, right? And some of the things you enjoy now, because you enjoy getting to the outdoors that maybe you didn't like before?
Right. I mean, I always liked the outdoors. I think now I'm forced to like them more, if that makes sense.
Right.
So, I mean...
And you've recently taken up kayaking.
That's right. That's a new thing. So I got a kayak off Craigslist last weekend.
You just bought one?
Yeah.
Okay, so sell me on the idea, because I'm going to tell you my perception.
Okay.
And then you bring me back, okay?
Okay.
Kayaking in, say, a place like Dallas, where there's no fast-moving rivers or streams or something to give you some inertia.
Yeah.
It feels like you're just like, canoe. It feels like you're just out there doing all the work, and then you'll get going real good, and then you'll just stop for a while and be like, all right, so now I'm going to ride this for a little while, and you're like, crap, I got to row again or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Is that, it just feels like you're not getting much enjoyment out of it if you're always working to move.
Well, for me, I like being out on the water, so
just actually sitting out there, I guess, is part of the fun.
Being out there
Just
to me
sitting.
is like the best part of the experience. But also, like, for me, if I'm not on a river, I'm getting more exercise. So, I guess it depends on what you're looking for.
And see, I'm the guy, and see, this kind of goes back to our personalities. I'm the high-strung, move, we got to go. And I want a reward. I want to be just like going down the stream and yay, let's go. See, you're just calm and relaxed. You're like, whatever, I'm just chilling.
Yeah. I mean, if we had a fast-moving river in Dallas,
You'd tackle it?
I'd love that, yeah. I'd love that, but we don't, so.
Where is the nearest, like, I don't want to say whitewater rapid, but at least something that takes care of the movement for you, maybe down in the hill country or something? Down
Yeah,
near
there's
Austin?
actually, I was actually watching some videos. If you search Frio River kayak camping, really nice whitewater rivers out in the hill country that you can go to.
Okay, about 3
pretty
hour
great
drive
rapids,
or so?
water's crystal clear. So up here, it's not that way. The best thing we have close to here, river-wise, is the Trinity, which, like a 5-minute drive from here, you can get on the Trinity River. So I actually took
really?
my kayak out there last night.
Okay.
So
Wait,
it's a little dirty because there's a lot of
yeah.
drainage going into it. So I would not go swimming in it.
No,
But to kayak
no,
on, it's
right.
not bad. It's bearable
Okay.
for a river.
okay.
But there's, obviously a lot of lakes around here too.
I've cleaned garbage out of that river
Oh, yeah.
before. That is not a happy place.
The part I went on, there wasn't garbage everywhere.
Okay. I was
Just to
down,
clarify, but I've heard
I was
certain
down-
parts of it are really bad.
Yeah, I was down with my kids and Carrie down in Fort Worth itself.
Right.
And we spent a day cleaning
Yeah.
out. I mean, they're the things.
Yeah.
Kids don't look. It's a nasty ordeal. But yeah, okay, out in the middle and stuff. Yeah, look,
Yeah.
the water's moving. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have any pets.
I do not have any pets.
And the reason I point this out instead of just moving on to the next
Right.
question is, I'm not positive, but you may be the first person to sit in this chair that has answered they don't have pets.
Really?
I
Very
mean,
interesting.
I'm not judging you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious. Do you hate animals, or you just haven't had the right one come along, or what? Like, what are you, a dog guy, cat guy, guinea pig guy? What are you?
Definitely not a cat guy. I'll
Okay.
just get that out of the way.
Okay.
I like dogs a lot. My parents never wanted to have a pet growing up. I guess we did have pet fish. That's about the best we had.
Uh-huh.
But they didn't want to deal with the dirtiness and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
So never got a dog growing up. That was their thing. So,
I mean, are they clean freaks, or they just? Oh no, here we go. I mean, did they starve you and your siblings of a full childhood by refusing to get you a pet? Tell us, how many times did you go by a pet store at the mall when you were a kid and say, hey, can we go get a dog or something like that? And they were just like, keep walking. How'd that go?
You know, we would eye out a dog, but I feel like they were pretty determined at that time. Now, later on...
Are there allergies, or just, I don't want... Because you think about it like this. I'm not saying this is their motivation, but someone drops in on our society and says, wait, so you allow these crazy wild animals into your house? What are you people, nuts? Your parents may have been onto something. I don't know. Go ahead.
No, later on, though, my sister, who was living with my parents up till just a few months ago, did get a little dog.
Okay.
So, and it was pretty funny, actually, because they were very kind of standoffish about it. Like, my mom was especially very standoffish about having a dog in the house. And now that little dog is the most spoiled little dog by mom.
Right?
So her name's like Haley. So my mom will be like, come here, little Miss Haley. Like, come sit in mama's lap. Like, just a complete change of events. But I told them my sister moved away with the dog. And I was like, you guys have to get a dog now. And they're like, oh, no, we're not going to.
That's my biggest fear.
We're not going to do that.
That's my biggest fear, because my oldest has a little dog.
Uh-oh.
And she is 17.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know when/if she's ever going to leave the house, but it's almost like I want to say, nah, you can stay as long as you need to.
You can head out. We don't care, but leave the dog.
I'm pretty sure I've told her that before.
Yeah,
It's like, look, when you do move out, you know Matilda has to stay, right? Anyhow, yeah. So I'm glad to hear that they're warming up to the idea of dogs, because, I mean, there might be something wrong with your parents if they didn't eventually come around. I'm just saying.
Now, the cats, I understand that if you don't like cats. That's very understandable, but dogs they're great.
Yeah, let's see here. Music. You like country?
I do like country.
Okay. What do you think about my theory that anyone can sing country? It just seems like...
I would think that almost anyone could get away with singing country.
Okay. You're not selling the genre, I'll tell you, with that kind of answer.
But it depends on what type of country you're looking into, and I think that not everyone can be a good country singer, if that makes sense.
I think any song can be turned into a country song. I think that's just try it sometime. Next time you are alone and there's no one within earshot, give it a shot. Grab
Interesting.
any random pop song and see what happens. In fact, hit record on your phone when you do that and share that with me.
All right.
And we'll
play it on the podcast.
We'll make you a country music superstar.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can tell you have high respect for country music.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Actually, I will say that Garth Brooks
is
I love
great.
like his greatest hits album, with all the collection
Oh, yeah.
there. I mean, from start to finish.
Yeah.
It is great. I'm not going to lie. I absolutely love that. Devil Went Down to Georgia by Charlie Daniels.
Charlie Daniels.
Yep. Which we're going to get into Charlie Daniels
That's right.
in a moment.
We will.
But outside of the Garth Brooks greatest hits and Devil Went Down to Georgia,
Wow.
I'm sorry. But
Like-
this isn't about me. I asked you and you answered.
Interesting.
And so that's cool.
Huh.
That's cool.
See, if I turned on country radio right now,
Yeah.
I don't think it's that good. I think maybe 25% of the songs are good on country radio. But I think some of the local Texas country is great, and I think there's some Nashville artists that are still very good. But it's not all of them. Like a guy like Thomas Rhett or Luke Bryan, not really into that. So
Well, tell me about Luke Combs.
Luke Combs, he's got some good music. It's kind of that style, still country music, kind of that Tim McGraw, I guess you could say 2000s country style, but all of his songs are great. Very catchy, lyrics are good.
Would I
He's
like
did
him?
some good stuff. Oh, you could try him out, see what you think.
Send me 3
3 songs.
of the best Luke Combs tracks in your opinion, and I will definitely give it an honest effort.
Okay, I have to pick some out.
And
Pick out the best ones.
You never know. You
Wow.
may convert me.
Wow.
Okay. I'm willing to listen. So like the last song you played on repeat was Does to Me.
That's it. Yep.
Does to Me.
Yep.
See, I obviously
So,
need an education.
Basically, the tagline is that might not mean much to you, but it does to me.
That sounds familiar. Was that a big hit?
It's a pretty big one. Yeah. Luke Combs is
I know that
pretty
name.
big right now. So he sold out American Airlines Center. He sold out 2 nights within like a few hours.
Wow. Okay.
And of course, those are postponed because of
Thank you,
coronavirus.
COVID.
But
Appreciate the COVID. Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully, what are they doing with those concerts? Like, if you have a ticket, right? Have they just said, hey, just hang on, we'll get in touch with you?
yeah, I had bought. Usually, I don't buy tickets far in advance. I had bought 2 pairs of tickets to Brooks and Dunn, which was scheduled for May 5th originally, and then Luke Combs, which was I think September 12th or something like that. Both of them get postponed to 2021. So you can either keep the ticket for the next year, or you can request a refund. So it's kind of up to you what you want to do.
What a mess.
Yeah.
I will say, though, talking about country artists, and you just mentioned Kix Brooks, I actually spent some time at his winery in Nashville
Interesting.
before, and I will say, very, very nice guy. I have
Interesting.
absolutely nothing against anybody in the country
Wow.
music industry. It's just not my sound,
Right.
But I was just did some corporate thing there, and he entertained, 100 or so of us, and very nice guy, very nice layout there. So anyhow, Kix
Interesting.
Brooks, yeah. Okay, that's my little country music rubbing elbows.
Tidbit.
Yeah. But you have met Charlie Daniels himself.
I did.
Tell me about that.
I did. It was pretty brief. He actually came to the studio
Here?
here a couple years ago.
Really?
He was on Glenn's radio show.
Yeah, that's right.
So we were actually, I think we went to commercial, and in the control room, and he was right out behind the control room taking pictures. And we looked at each other. It was Travis, actually, he was talking about earlier. Looked at each other like, let's do it.
Yes.
So we ran out there.
I totally missed
we
that
got
day.
we got a picture. So I still have a picture with Charlie Daniels.
That's great.
And I also actually got to see him perform live about a year later. I was working for NRA TV, and they had their annual meetings here in Dallas, and he performed the concert, and it was basically first come, first serve. So we got there early. Travis Tritt was the opening act, but his band was incredible. We were on the 5th row, and it was incredible to see his band. Like, you could tell it's called Charlie Daniels Band for a reason. So
And when he was hanging out here and taking pictures and stuff, you guys went and crashed and got your picture made
Right.
with him and everything. Seems like a super nice guy.
very nice, very kind of a mellow, friendly guy, you know. Which some of his songs I wouldn't say are mellow, but but very mellow guy. Apparently he was crazy on Twitter. He would just really he would vent on Twitter pretty big.
Yes, he was.
He would let it go.
He loved this country, that's for sure. So you've also met Bobby Bowden, the legendary football coach from Florida State.
That's right.
So well, that's like me meeting Tom Osborne, right, from Nebraska. How was your meeting with Bobby?
It was fun. I grew up Florida State fan. My grandpa was a Florida State fan.
Okay.
And in Florida, everyone, no matter where you go to school, is either a Gator or a Seminole.
Right. Yeah.
When you meet someone from Florida, you say, "Hey, are you a Gator or a Seminole?" So anyway, but Bobby Bowden came to speak at Liberty my junior year of college, and one of the things we could do as editors at the paper is request interviews with these speakers. So as soon as the schedule came out that Bobby was speaking there, I immediately emailed the editor-in-chief, and I was like, hey, can I get Bobby Bowden?
I gotta be there.
So anyway, I got the interview. They didn't give me much time with him, but it was pretty neat.
He seems like a very nice guy.
Oh, very nice. And he was spry. At that time, I think he was mid-80s. I think he was at least in his low 80s at the time.
Uh-huh.
And at one point, he shoved me on the shoulder, and you could tell he still was super strong and energetic and very nice. So it was pretty fun. I got a picture with him, and it was a really neat experience because that was someone I kind of idolized as a kid growing up. It's Bobby Bowden. He's a legend in coaching, so in college football.
And he's 90 years old
90 years old now. And you wouldn't know.
No.
You wouldn't know.
No kidding. So. Wow, that's great. Earliest memory. My goodness. My family's house fire. Tell us about that. How old were you? What do you remember?
Yeah. I was 3 years old at the time. So basically what happened is we had a gas hot water heater in our house. And my mom dropped a can of aerosol spray, like Lysol or something. I don't know what it was. That, I guess, punctured and went to the air. The can
somewhere
broke.
In the house?
Somewhere in the laundry room. Okay. Where the hot water heater was.
Yeah.
And the pilot light, it hit the pilot light, and that's what started the fire. So it's a pretty vague memory, but I remember getting together, leaving the house.
So there was no explosion. It was just
no explosion.
Was it
just
a rapid spreading fire?
I think it started spreading pretty quickly. So obviously, I don't think I was even in the laundry room.
Okay.
But yeah, we went to my neighbor's house. My sister and I went to my neighbor's house, and they didn't completely lose the house, but it was a big fire. My mom was actually out there fighting it with a hose for a little while before the fire department got there. But we rented a house for maybe 6 months.
Yeah.
And then they repaired the house. But it was quite an event. I was too young to really, I think, understand it at the time because obviously for my parents, that's tough. You have to go, the amount you have to go through with homeowners insurance and all that is just a complete nightmare.
Do you know if your family lost any keepsakes or photographs or anything like that? Or how big of a fire are we talking?
I think they were able to stop it before it got anything super valuable. If I asked my parents, they would maybe say a couple things.
Sure, just the laundry. Hopefully.
Right. And there's some valuables. We have old yearbooks and photos and stuff like that that smell like smoke because they were in there. But
Still today, huh?
Right, but they didn't get lit on fire.
Wow.
But yeah, I think that was I was trying to think about that because you had that on the sheet. And I think that's my earliest memory, probably just because it was, obviously a crazy experience. So thankfully, everyone was safe. Our house wasn't completely flattened or anything like that. So it could have been much worse, but it was an interesting experience, for sure.
Sounds like it. I'm glad everybody was okay and safe. And
they were.
Okay. Ooh, it wasn't overnight then. It was during the day or something?
Right. It was during the day.
Okay,
I think my dad was at work. I was 3. My brother would have been about 6 or 7 at the time.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So I ask, what's your most embarrassing moment? And Mr. Mello over here can't think of a good one because he says he's not easily embarrassed or he just needs to live more. And I contend that you don't put yourself in a position to be embarrassed is probably what it is. That's my theory.
Interesting. It's I know I've been embarrassed before, but I was sitting there trying to think of a certain instance, and I was having a hard time coming up with one. So I don't know why that is exactly, but
in under the question, what's something that you want to accomplish in your lifetime, and it's to be an impact on other people. How so?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, life's about people. Obviously, I'm not perfect at making that my number one goal, but I think that's what it should be, is to just be an impact on other people around me and make their lives a little bit better.
Do you hope to have kids someday?
Yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
so those will be people that you will definitely have an impact on.
Yeah.
You'll have your chance.
Yeah. But I think, I think it's just more valuable than wanting a thing or experience, you know?
Mm-hmm. So no big regrets either.
Nothing that popped in my head. I'm sure I could come up with some small ones if I sat there and thought about it for a while, but yeah, nothing big, thankfully.
You do hope to get a lot of traveling accomplished in your lifetime. Where are some places you would like to go?
I think getting out west would be great. I've never explored, the Grand Canyon, Hoover Dam, Grand Tetons, Yosemite. All of that would be incredible to see. Parts of California.
Yeah.
I could list a bunch of things. I think it'd be great to see Europe one day.
Yeah. Get to Yellowstone if you get out there. I'm so glad that I've seen, because I never thought about Yellowstone as this amazing place. And then I had the opportunity a couple of years ago to get out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been itching to go back since the second we left. So if you ever get out to Wyoming, along the western edge of that state, you got to get out to Yellowstone. Anything that we haven't covered that maybe we should delve into Mark Tait more? Once you finally get a pet, what kind of pet are you going to get? Is it going to be a dog?
Well, actually, Candace Ortiz, who works here, also my girlfriend, she's getting...
What?
I know, you're shocked. Incredible.
I wasn't gonna. Okay, look. Earlier in the podcast, I threw the opportunity out there, but I wasn't gonna say anything beyond that. But as long as you're saying that, yes. So she was featured on the September 11th.
That's right.
2020 podcast. If you'd like to trek back. So you're dating Candace, and
right.
what were you gonna say about the getting a pet?
She is getting a golden retriever puppy in.
Oh no.
Just about a month.
So she's about to get a puppy?
About to get a puppy.
Is she just waiting for it to get weaned, or how?
Yeah, they keep it. It's from a breeder, so they'll keep it for 2 months from its time of birth, and it gets shots, and they make sure it's good and ready to go. And then
she got a name for it yet?
She's gonna call it Ladybird.
So it's gonna be a girl.
It's gonna be a girl. It's a girl dog. So it's already born.
Yeah.
So just waiting on it to grow up a little bit. So
how exciting!
But yeah, see, it works out for me though, because she can take care of the dog, manage all those things, and then I can just enjoy it,
I can meet you at the park with the dog. Yeah. That's awesome. You don't have to worry about the shedding.
Yeah, she does all the vacuuming, takes care of everything, so I can just go enjoy the puppy. So
that's gonna shed a lot, right?
It is gonna shed a lot.
Oh no, I can't.
Yeah, it's golden retrievers are I feel like probably the most attractive dog out there, but they are big shedders. So,
all right.
Yeah,
Ladybird.
I
like it. That's
Ladybird.
Cool. Very good. Tell her she has to bring little puppy Ladybird up here.
Oh, absolutely.
To the studio.
She's already scheming about ways to do that. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that on the podcast. But.
I feel that the perfect place for a golden retriever would be on the set with Chad Prather.
Oh yeah, could run around
because she produces his show.
That's right.
In fact, you guys, since you've already opened up the door, I'm just going to climb right through, and then if you want me to take this out later, feel free. But is that where you guys met, you and Candace?
We did.
On Chad's show? Because you push the buttons for the show, she keeps him in check.
Right.
And that's where you guys met, right?
It is, yeah.
That's awesome.
So, no, we actually, I left Blaze for a little while, came back in February. We actually started on the same day.
Oh, wow.
She came on the show in March of, I guess it would have been 2019.
Yeah, so, okay. It's been a while.
So, yeah, we worked together, and Chad was always late. So he would always be an hour or two late. So we'd sit there and talk, and then she kind of turned into something. So
we can blame/thank Chad for you guys.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Okay, so you've been dating then for about a year then, right?
A little over a year.
Okay.
Right.
All right, well, that's really cool. I'm very happy because two of the nicest people in the world found each other, and that is really awesome. Absolutely. Anything we've missed? Oh, you've got a social media handle.
Oh, yeah.
But I got to thinking, He's right. I don't think I've ever seen him post anything.
I do not.
Is this a Twitter handle?
I have it's Instagram.
Oh, it's Instagram.
And Twitter. But
okay.
I think I used to kind of tweet a little bit back in the day, a few years ago. I don't really tweet anymore.
I'm gonna look this up. It's M and then TAIT 20 on Twitter. Let's just go and check out his Twitter here.
It's probably been about 3 years or 4 years.
There he is. Look, I'm following you. Of course, you're
wow.
not following me.
Oh man,
I see that.
Yeah, I'm very selective. So.
Oh wow. Let's see. The last time you tweeted anything, it was a retweet in November of 2018.
Yeah, that's actually. I'm surprised it's that recent, honestly.
Let's see here. Yeah. So there you go. It was. Let's see. Yeah. So, man, and then before that, it was September of 2018, and before that, March of 2018. Yeah. Boy, your frequency is dynamic.
I'm all about my social media image, that's for sure. So
yeah.
Really on the socials.
So
I think I have about 3 posts on Instagram or something like that. So.
Okay. Well, yeah.
It's a big deal. If I post on social media, it's a big deal for me. It's
yeah.
like, all right, we're going to sit down. We're going to make a post.
I mean, I see Liberty University football, Florida State football.
Oh, yeah.
So you got priorities at least.
That's right.
All right. So at mtait20, that's TAIT 20 on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for making time. Mark Tait of the Blaze. And it was painless, right?
Right.
I mean, this was.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, you're like I've clearly established, you're so uptight and high-strung. You were so nervous for this. No, I'm just kidding. The most relaxed man I know. Mark Tait, thanks for making time.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It was fun.
This has been At the Mic with Keith, an independent podcast production. Look for At the Mic Show on Twitter to connect.